Corey here. Man, we got a special show for you guys this time. Uh, we're at Angler's Paradise in Liberal, Missouri, kind of southwestern Missouri. Um, what this place is a an old strip pit. Um, Back years and years and years ago, coal mining was a booming industry in this part of the country, and when they were done, they left at these big strip pits. Um, Pretty much all throughout the Midwest, but there's a lot of them right here on the Kansas-Missouri line. And Don Kentner, the owner of Angler's Paradise, had the foresight to build some really nice log cabins on here on the property around the strip pit, and stock the strip pit with some Florida strain largemouth, and really manage the strip pit extensively for trophy largemouth. There's also some great crappie fishing in here, and a lot of bluegill for kids and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but there are some giant largemouth in here. My biggest largemouth to date came out of here. Matter of fact, it was about 100 yards down the bank down here a few years ago. It was a 9.5 pounder, and so every spring, Brittany and I try to come back, and we try to hit the spawn so we can bedfish, because the water is just crystal clear. I mean, you can see the bottom in 6, 8, 10 foot of water, sometimes more than that, and just it's a perfect recipe for bed fishing, and for a lot of times bed fishing for maybe the fish of a lifetime. Right now it's April 15th, 16th, somewhere in there. 16th. It's nice out. It's probably 58, 59 degrees out this morning. Not much wind. Crystal clear water. Water temperature's about 61 degrees. If you guys are adding all that up right now, you're probably figuring out we're probably going to have some bed fishing today, and that's why I think that we should have a really good show. Already seen a couple fish on beds, no big ones. I do know where there is I'm guessing to be 3.5, maybe 3.5 pounds, something like that. Definitely not the biggest fish I'm hoping to catch out of here, but he is a good fish. I know where he's at. We'll probably go over to him a little bit later and try to catch him. But right now the sun's not up yet, and it's just a little bit hard to see in the water yet. So we're just kind of buzzing around out here, and I'm throwing a pawpaw and stuff like that, just fishing. Once we get a little bit more light up overhead, we're gonna go move around and try to find some beds with some good fish on them. So we're gonna have to fight a little bit of wind today, I think. They're calling for 15 to 20 mile-an-hour winds, but like I said, being a strip pit, as you can see, we're down real low, and it's real steep banks on both sides of us. That's going to help us with the wind a little bit, I'm hoping. So anyways, enjoy the scenery, look around. Okay guys, earlier I told you that I knew where there was I was guessing 3.5 pounder on a bed. It's right up here by the back corner of this dock. The cabin we're staying in is right up here on the hill, and last night we walked down to the dock, and I seen her on the bed there. I say her, I think it may be the male actually. But, I can still see him right there. He seems like he's locked on the bed pretty good, because we could run him off and he'd just make a big circle and come right back. So that's almost always a catchable fish. So we're gonna see if we can get him to bite here. He's looking right at it. Oh, he bit it. This may not take long. It's real important when you're bed fishing to just make everything you do needs to be as quiet as you can make it. Keep your trolling motor as low as you possibly can. Don't be dropping stuff in the boat. I mean, you can talk all you want, but just as far as the noise that's going to get transmitted down into the water, you want to be just quiet with that as you can. There he comes. He may not be as big as I thought he was now that I'm sitting here looking at him from this angle, but we'll see. I say you can run him off this bed, but he comes right back. And that's a sign of a very catchable fish when they do that. When you and you bump one and it disappears for several minutes and you don't see it, and then finally you see it cruising around. A lot of times those may not be catchable fish. Those a lot of times are fish that you may need to leave alone and come back later in the day and see if their mood changes. But when they act like this one here, where they're, I mean, you can't run him off that bait. That's a sign of a very catchable fish. There he is. Get over here. I think I might have guessed a little heavy on the weight, but it's still a good fish. Probably 2.5. Alright guys, we moved about 2 boat lengths. The dock is right there that I caught that last one behind, and there's another bed right up here that's got, what I seen when we first come up here was a little bit bigger fish. I mean, not a giant by any means, but I think that might have been the female, because this brush pile in front of me, she slipped off, just backed off in that brush pile, and there's another fish up there cruising around on the bed that may be a little bit smaller than that last one. But what I'm going to try to do is catch him and get him, put him in a live well just like I did that last one, and just sit here and see if that female will move back up here. After we caught that last fish, we went and made a little loop in some shallow water in this little pocket looking for a bed. We didn't see any, but we come back past that bed that I caught that one off of, and that male's already sitting up there on that bed again. So pretty cool how that works out. But I'm going to flip up in here in this bed and see if each fish is different. I mean, they're kind of like people, in the sense that they've all got their own kind of personality, attitude, temper, and that's what you're playing on when you're bed fishing. You're not trying to get a fish to eat because he's hungry. You're trying to make him mad. There's one little piece of real estate in a whole body of water that he cares about at that moment, and you're trying to keep your bait in there and tick him off. And what ticks one fish off may or may not get the next one. And that goes for bait choice. That goes for presentation. You know, that fish I caught off the bed over there, I caught him basically by just keeping the bait in the bed and just kind of making it quiver. To catch this one, the same thing may work, and then again, I may have to get more aggressive with the bait. I may have to bump the bait off of him a couple times to really kick him off. I may have to go to a different bait altogether. And go back to this tube here. You know, the way that I've got this tube rig too, you guys can go check out another video we put up here a while back where it shows you a trick or two for rigging these tubes. And, basically I took some scissors and put a slit in the back to make it a lot more effective when you go to set the hook. There he is. Another decent fish. Alright guys, we're sitting here waiting for that female to move up. And I just seen her chase a bluegill. But anyways, just that fish right there proves that when you're bed fishing, you need to pay a lot of attention to everything that's going on. I mean, yes, always keep your eyes on your bait, you know, and keep an eye on the fish and see how it's reacting. But there was one little clue in that fish, in that whole situation, that let me catch that fish, and that was one little bluegill about that long just swam across the bed. Didn't even stop or do anything funny, but as soon as that male saw that bluegill, man, he was on him and just chased him off. And up to that point, I was flipping this, like I said, that white trash sweet beaver that I covered the tail chartreuse with, and because that's what I caught that first fish on the bed. That's what I caught him on, and he was all over it. And I would prefer to catch it on that one because the color is a little bit easier for me to see with the lighting conditions. But once I saw that he wasn't reacting to that color, and I saw him chase off that bluegill, I switched over and caught him on the Ike Smash Tube, the Havoc Smash Tube. And the color here, you can see it, it's just kind of a green pumpkin. It's got a lot of blue flake in it. The inside of the tail, or the tail, I guess, is blue, and then I colored chartreuse on it. It's real bluegill looking. And from the time I saw that little bluegill get chased off, and I grabbed this, that fish's whole demeanor changed. I knew then that this was a bait I could catch him on. So you got to pay a lot of attention to what's going on, because, like I said, what worked on that fish was not working on this one. Whether this would have worked on that fish or not, I don't know. But I saw that bluegill get chased off the bed, and I knew then that he was not going to tolerate bluegill being around his bed. So I grabbed a bait that's a bluegill color and caught the fish. So, like I said, pay a lot of attention to what's going on. There's that female right there. She's moved up finally. So we'll see if we can't catch her. Oh. Saw her gills flare. I thought she had it, but she didn't. Got it that time though. That's a better fish than I thought it was. It's a pretty decent fish. Told you guys I was terrible at judging the weight of a fish when it's in the water. That's a good one. Okay guys, we were in the process of moving around, looking for some beds and stuff, and we ran into Don, the owner of this place, and he's out here fishing. And he flagged me down and he asked if we saw the fish on that bed out there kind of by the ramp. I said no, and he was telling me he was fishing through here and had her hit his wacky worm, and he said I didn't let her, he said he didn't hook her on purpose because he knew that there's us and there's some other guests in here fishing. And he said I don't know if it's better than 5 or better than 10, but he said it looked like a pretty good fish, and he told me where it's at. I'll tell you, I've been here enough times, and I know Don well enough to tell you that when Don says I don't know if it's bigger than 5 or bigger than 10, you want to go check it out, and that's exactly what we're doing. And I see her right here, and to be honest with you, I don't know if it's better than 5 or better than 10. As you guys have figured out by now, I'm terrible at guessing the weights on fish when they're still in the water. I can tell you it's a good fish, and hopefully here in a minute we'll be able to tell you exactly how good it is. There she is right there, she sees it.
You might move before you're going to run into the bed.
Guys, this is a smaller of the two. And she is, like I said, she's noticeably bigger than this one. Get out here. Get out here away from her. Look at that. Put him in there for just a minute. Let things calm down a little bit. Let me calm down a little bit. Oh, good Lord. Yeah! How about that? How about that? That is what makes bed fishing so much fun, boys. That fish would have been a blast to catch anytime.
Oh my
But to see her eat it on a bed. Give me a 5, don't worry about the damn camera. Yeah. Okay guys, that'll wrap up our video here and our weekend at Anglers Paradise. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It went pretty well. We had a few obstacles we had to overcome, the wind and clouds mainly. And I think we're maybe a week ahead of time, really. And the thing is, you know, Dawn has got such an awesome thing going here that if you're trying to get, if you're trying to show up at a certain time like we are, you know, we really wanted to show up around the spawn. You've got to make your reservations, you know, plenty ahead of time to be sure that you can get in. And so we try to make our reservations sometime in you know, around the first of the year. And so it's a crapshoot. You're really trying to guess when the spawn might be. You're trying to, you know, predict what the weather might be leading up to the spawn and when the spawn might actually happen. And shoot guys, a weatherman can't hardly predict what the weather's going to do in 2 or 3 days, let alone just a fisherman trying to predict things like that months in advance. So you know, we hit it close. We did. There's a few fish that are left on beds, and I noticed yesterday at the end of the day, fish were really starting to move up, and then a lot of them weren't on the beds this morning. So it's really close to happening. Like I said, we got lucky and we did catch several fish off of beds, and we got a lot of them on video, including one big one. We caught an 8-pounder on the bed that we were lucky enough to get on the video. Thank you to Dawn for pointing us in the direction of that fish. And that just goes to show you too how easy it is to go right over fish and not even see that they're there, because where that fish was at on that bed, we had actually been through there an hour before that and saw the bed, saw where she was at, but never seen her. I don't know if she moved up after we went through or if we just went right over the top of her and didn't know she was there. But whatever the case, you know, that goes to show what kind of guy Dawn is, because a lesser guy would have went ahead and just caught that fish himself, and Dawn actually, you know, pointed us in the direction of that fish, and really appreciate Dawn there. As far as the bed fishing itself goes, I hope you guys, if you haven't, you know, ever done any bed fishing or are kind of new to it, I hope you guys learn some stuff that'll help. Like I said, the tackle selection, just keep it pretty simple. Small baits that the fish can get in their mouth. Brighter colors make it easier for you to see, and sometimes you've got to go with a more natural color depending on, you know, the individual fish. For instance, one of the fish yesterday, as we got on camera, I was flipping a white sweet beaver in there and was getting no reaction at all. I saw that fish chase a bluegill off a bed, immediately picked up some baits that were bluegill colored and caught the fish. So you got to take some clues. Now and then, you know, there'll be little clues that you can pick up on, but for the most part, it's just it's pretty straightforward. A lot of patience. I don't know how much editing we're going to have to do on some of these videos, but it's not uncommon
to spend sometimes 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour on one fish on a bed, and before you finally get it to commit. But when you finally start pushing the right buttons, there's nothing more exciting than watching that fish get ticked off, and you can see their gills flare, and you can just see their reaction. And you know, this is the only time of year you really get to see that, you know. And I love bed fishing. Like I said, we come up here, we try to make it up here at least once a year. We have done a pretty good job of that for the last 5 years, I think, something like that. And we always try to time it around the spawn, and that's why I love it. There's no other way I would rather catch fish. Like I said in the opening of the video, Dawn has done a fantastic job of managing this place for just great big bass. I mean, we didn't even touch the tip of the iceberg of what's in here. You know, that 8-pounder. There was another fish I seen on a bed right over here across the cove yesterday that was probably in that same category, but she wasn't locked on a bed or anything. She was just cruising and disappeared on us. The biggest bass I've ever caught in my life, 9.5 pounds, come from here, and it was back over not too far from where I caught that 8-pounder. And that day that I caught her, I saw another fish that was bigger than her. So there's just a lot of big fish in here. You know, if you guys are, especially if you're in the Midwest and you're looking for a great little weekend getaway, give Don a look. We can put his a link to his website up, you know, in the description below on this video. And even if you're not from the Midwest, you know, you're not from this area, he's got guest books in all the cabins, and you know, every time we're here, we always read through the guest books and see where people are from. And last night we noticed there was people from California, Texas, Tucson, Arizona, Florida, somebody from Africa. So I mean, how's that for a fishing trip? But that just shows you how far away people come to this place. So even if you're not, you know, from the area, if you want to get into a good weekend getaway and some really good fishing, you know, it's real secluded out here, as you can see. You know, you're not too far from, you know, you're, I think, 15-30 minutes from a decent sized college town where you can go get some good food and stuff if you want to. The women can go do some shopping if they want to or whatever. But I mean, you're out here. I mean, this morning, every morning we've been here. You hear turkeys gobbling, and you know, you'll see deer all over the place, and you know, you hear trains now and then, but no traffic, no people, you know, buzzing around in boats all over the place. You might have seen one video or one car go by here in the background. There's another cabin up there. It's got some people staying in it, and it looks like it's their getaway day too. I think they're loading up, but it's called Angler's Paradise for a reason, and it's just beautiful out here. We love it. Like I said, the fishing was pretty good. I think if we could have showed up a week later, I think we would have hit it, you know, right on the nose, and it would have been even better. But anyways, I really don't know what else to say. It looks like it's starting to clabber up on us, and we're gonna have to do something or get wet. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the bed fishing video. We had a blast putting it together. For more product reviews, how-to videos, you name it, check us out over at Gills Gone Wild. And also for some more information on Angler's Paradise, they're on Facebook. You can find them at Angler's Paradise, and we'll put the website below in the description for Don's website. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you next time.